Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and today I bring you the top 5 feedback requests of July, Dancing in the Tempest Part 2. So this video reviews the top 5 feedback requests for July, and I will present the 5 feedback requests that I've seen the most across multiple platforms. And if you have any other requests, let me know in the comments. First, we're going to start off with the first feedback request, and that's the training arena. Hopefully this one becomes out soon, as a training arena has been requested for a while. This would be great for newer players who are just getting into the game and finding their weapon type. In addition, this would also be great for veteran players, as it would allow them to polish their skills with current/new weapons they haven't used yet. The area wouldn't have to be very big either. It could be just as small, just like with small monsters when we engage with them. It could be that small and we wouldn't need that much room. But yes, please, a training area would be really nice. I mean, if you can't walk around, or if you're just like bored for the day, or you can't really do anything, or you're at work or whatnot, it would be really nice to have an activity to do while you're sitting down or just staying, or like I said, you don't have time to go outside and hunt monsters. Well, being able to train our weapon would be absolutely amazing. I mean, given this wouldn't be able to emulate that actual experience you would fight on certain monsters, but it would definitely be a welcome addition, because you would be able to practice a lot with your newer weapon. At least you would get used to the mechanics, the feel for the weapon, etc. Changing modes, like with Charge Blade, when you go from sword mode to axe mode, little things like that would still help a lot when you're using all that gained experience and engaging a large monster in the future. Next up, we have another feature that's been requested for a while. Number 2, for feedback requests, we want crafting potions/items. So crafting items is still a high demand feature. The materials for crafting potions can be rare or have a weekly limit, so it can be balanced, and crafting was one of the best features in the main series games, so let's hope it's something considered for the future. Literally every game, even for like Monster Hunter 1, I still remember all those runs I would do to make sure I could craft potions. Hopefully there's something like this in the future. It would have to be super limited, because here's the thing, if you could craft potions or a ton of potions, it's not really the money thing, rather it's you would just bank on using potions instead of skills. What I like about Monster Hunter now, and the fact that potions are limited, yes, you get 5 free first aid meds, which is still a lot, and up to 15 if you have 5 queued, but it forces you to get really good at the game. It forces you to polish up on your mechanics. It forces you to polish up on your dodging, perfect dodging, and not taking a whole bunch of damage. So that's what you would do in the main series games anyways. You wanted to take less damage as possible and master monster attack patterns, so you have to use less healing items or the least amount as possible. It's just Hunter now does that on the extreme, because you have to go out and play, or you have to wait. Which, as a mental health therapist, is actually a healthy way, because, you know, you're not super glued to your phone all the time. It forces you to look away from it. But if you're really good at the game, you won't have to use a lot of potions. Out of 1,000 Mizutsune I've slain, I only used like less than 40 potions. I know it's less than 40. So I used less than 40 potions to slay 1,000 of the hardest monster in the game, and most of those were 8 stars. So I still advocate for a crafting potions and items feature, because it was such a core of the main series games. So let's hope it's considered in the future as something that's coming to the game. Moving on, we have feedback request number 3, saving Driftstone skills in loadouts. So this would allow you to save Driftstone skills with save loadouts. I know how annoying it is to switch out an individual skill every time you're switching one, especially when it comes to me using Black Diablo's bow and my Kushala bow full Driftmelt builds, because my Helm and my Gyrototus Greaves are both I need to switch to skills for burst to ice attack. Now, given I don't do it anymore just because I'm lazy, and unless I absolutely need to, or I just want to absolutely shred something to the face of to oblivion and everything, I'm not going to switch it to ice attack. I'll keep burst on there. But yes, this is going to make it so you don't have to switch the skills for each equipment piece if you use them for multiple Driftmelt builds. I do believe something like this is being worked on, however, I understand how difficult developing this feature might be, and probably won't be implemented for a while. So the reason why you're not getting more loadouts is because here's the thing, if you got more loadouts, you would have to do that for every profile in the game. So every time you loaded up your game, and I believe there's an article about this before they loaded it from 5 loadouts to 10, every time someone loads a game, it has to load your loadouts. So that's more stress on the servers, especially if you're getting more and more players every day. So I'm for them making sure that this doesn't break the game and making sure the game still runs smoothly after this is implemented. So updates are great. We want these updates. However, if the update is going to break the game and make it another game where there's a bunch of bugs in it, no, I don't want it to be that way. In fact, we haven't had much of an issue like that, at least if you're using high-end devices from Monster Hunter now, so make sure we keep it that way. So yeah, hopefully this comes out in the future and we won't be having to switch our drift smelt skills every 15 seconds or between hunts whenever we're trying to swap over to something we really need. Like if you're going from Black Diablo's full drift smelt build to a Kushalabo full drift smelt build. Next, we have feedback request number 4. Better hunter rank scaling for group hunts. So the HR requirement should be raised to participate in 8-star hunts or higher, or at least modified. This will be changed for Elder Dragons in the future, but it should be changed for group hunts on the field and huntathons as well. Hunter rank 50 is too low of a requirement. Another consideration is to make it weapon grade level instead of hunter rank. This would ensure low HR hunters can at least do enough damage to help the group. If you're at 755 or 81, that should be the thing if you're going after 8-star monsters, especially nowadays with how easy it is to get it if you just play a few events. I remember back in the day when we didn't have those Wyvern Gem Shard rewards for quests, and we were hard stuck at 7.5 because there was no other way to get it other than taking out 8-star monsters and getting them to drop it. So now that you don't have that, I do believe now it's time to change that to where it should be weapon grade instead of hunter rank, or the hunter rank rises. While I personally don't mind carrying players, other players might not feel the same, and rightfully so, as Bone Gun Lance users and Leechers are becoming more popular in global matchmaking. Bone Gun Lance users, while I don't mind carrying them, when you go into an EDI or you go into something high-end like Black Diablos and all they're doing is chasing around the Black Diablos all day, not a good feeling. Even if you're using Bubbly Dance, the ones that are using Bubbly Dance are likely giving up artillery, so they're doing less damage in general. So they're still handicapping themselves in some way, shape, or form. That being said, it's kind of funny how players like me that spend to make the game go faster are getting shamed on by free-to-players, or like players like, oh, he spends money, and then you're the ones asking me to carry you. Or the free-to-players just don't have the gear, so then they're like, oh, why can't I do it? Because guess what? Someone else out there with the power to do so can do it, but they probably left the lobby because they don't want to carry you. So that's just the way it is. As much as I agree, I do believe earning your place, just like how everyone else did when they came up before all these changes were made. We didn't have dimensional links, we didn't have global matchmaking back then. So solo players like myself had to make themselves really overpowered or really hunt to oblivion like Black Diablos and get those super weapons so that we don't have to rely on other people. So again, I really hope that this is implemented in the future. It's let them earn their keep. I get it, I get making community, but if we make it to where they're being too reliant, then they won't be willing to learn, and instead of mastering attack patterns and getting better at the game, they just mooch off of other players, and hopefully they're like, oh wait, please carry me so I don't have to work as hard as you did when you first started. And last but not least, that feedback request number 5, dimensional link with friends. So we finally have remote hunting, however, allow for an item to be used like an SOS flare to invite friends to hunts, huntathons, and Elder Dragon interceptions. While dimensional links have been much needed for the game, it doesn't replace the friend experience we get from the main series. So dimensional link is remote hunting, that's what we've always wanted. However, another thing we really want is to hunt with our friends. Please, friends! So I will pay to be able to hunt with my friends and create content with my friends around the world, because fortunately, even though I live in California, one of the largest states in the United States, and I live in 3 huge cities, or 3 large population cities, where combined we have probably over 300,000 populace. There are less than 10 players that play Monster Hunter now on a daily basis in those 3 cities. I know because I was a very prominent Pokemon Go player, and I've only seen less than 10 consistently around these 3 cities. In fact, I think half of them aren't even playing anymore, so being able to invite my friends on my friends list would be really cool for hunts. Friend quests are likely leading us to be able to invite friends in hunts in the future, but let's hope something like that is being considered. It would probably be a pay feature, or you'd be limited feature for free, but I'll take it. Because I really would like to create content with some of my mods in my Discord and some of my subscribers, etc. I would love to do that. So please, in the future, dimensional link with being able to invite our friends.
My next question, so players give a ton of feedback. What are the best ways to get feedback from Monster Hunter now? I know you guys have a forum, I know you watch my channel, so that's great as well. Are there other venues, or what's the best way to do it for Monster?
Yeah, we love hearing from players, and we are on Reddit, we are on Discord, we are listening, we may be lurking, but we are absolutely trying to get as much feedback from players as possible, whether they're in, Hong Kong, Taipei, Tokyo, Seattle, Los Angeles. We want to make sure that we are taking all that into account, and that's why we've done so many improvements even outside of our major seasonal launches. So adding in rewards for group hunting. We want to encourage people to hunt together. That's something that we adding the global matchmaking for huntathon points. We heard from a lot of players who maybe not are in a big populous area. They want to be able to take down huntathons at the highest level, so that guaranteed matchmaking, that's there for them. Giving Zenny for discarding parts. We want to make sure that's something that feels rewarding and not just a so-so experience. So things like that, and for Season 2, the ability to send friend requests after multiplayer hunts. The friend quest itself, where you can now have a joint goal that you're working toward over many days to get some big rewards in game with your friends. That's a social feature that we wanted to put out there, and we're always listening and wanting to come up with new quality of life improvements and new features that improve the gameplay experience overall.
And there you have it. You want to give feedback? Well, they're looking at a lot of things, including watching my channel. So hopefully those things you put in the comments, if you do have something that you would like to put in the game, it's being read and it will come into the game soon. I'm excited to see what Monster Hunter Now's dev team and staff has planned for the rest of Dancing in the Tempest. The dev team has done really great. Thank you, Mark Van Lommel and everyone at Niantic working on Monster Hunter Now, as well as Capcom. Y'all are amazing. We appreciate all the updates you've done recently and how much you really take in our feedback and use it to make the game better. We really do appreciate it. But what would you like to see? Put your feedback requests in the comments, and like I mentioned, Niantic has confirmed watching my content, so hopefully something in the comments you put in there will be considered, or is already being considered. Please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe.